Welcome back to Living God's Promise Ministries. So I'm just here, gonna share a quick testimony that God's placed on my heart to share. So this is to encourage parents that have a child with special needs, or a loved one, or someone you know. So okay, quick story. So my son was diagnosed with many years ago. He he was diagnosed autistic nonverbal. So modern terms now, he's on the spectrum. So he had been in a self-contained classroom from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So when it was getting close to his senior year, like in his 11th grade year, so we had, when he was getting ready to go to the 12th grade, we held, there was an IEP meeting held. And IEP is an individualized education program. It's a document that outlines the tailored goals and services of the child. So, and he had been in a self-contained classroom from kindergarten to 12th grade. And so if you don't know what a self-contained classroom is, it's a small group of special needs individuals that receive services for most of the day. Um, they can get their accommodations and extra support. So, so during his IEP, what I had wanted for my son was, of course, for him to graduate with a high school diploma. So during his time in school, it was always said that he was not going to get a high school diploma. He was going to get a certificate of completion. So so during his 11th grade IEP, when he was getting ready to go into his senior year, I made sure, I stressed that I wanted my son to participate in all senior activities, because I wanted him to have the senior experience. He went to prom. I was his escort. He had a great time. He danced. He ate. But so I wanted him to enjoy the whole experience. I want him to go to all the senior meetings, participate in all senior activities, and they were going to have a paraprofessional, teacher's assistant with him to for extra support to escort him to the activities. And that's what I made known at the IEP meeting. So I asked his teacher, I was like, was he going to get a high school diploma? And she was like, no, he won't receive a high school diploma. He was going to receive a um, a certificate of completion. And so after that meeting, I remember going to God, and I'm like, God, I don't want my son to have a certificate of completion. I want him to have a high school diploma, because he had been in school and he had worked so hard. He went, I made sure he was in summer school every summer, because I didn't want him to regress. And so, yeah, I prayed, and I was like, God, I don't want my son to get a high school diploma. I don't want him, excuse me, to get a certificate of completion. I want him to have his high school diploma. So when so he went through the senior year beautifully, and And it was, he had attended his graduation. It was beautiful. And so when it was time for him, to pick up when the seniors was to pick up their diplomas, I, got the phone call to come pick up his diploma and what time for us to go. And so we went, and we went to go pick it up. And I remember them giving me the black folder. And I remember opening the folder up. And he was with me when I went to go pick it up. And I'm looking at it. And it was a diploma. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is a diploma. And I'm looking at the whole entire thing, reading everything on there. And it was a diploma, a high school diploma. And I was just like amazed, like, oh my God, you did that. I'm like, so I call that a but God moment. And when I say but God, because it's a situation that when God intervenes, and it's it was him, because it was nobody else. Because they told me, when the odds are stacked against you and God comes in and intervenes, that's a but God moment. Because they told me that the school teacher, and I think I went to the principal too, and they told me he was going to get a certificate of completion. That was just it. And it just goes to show you, God has the final say so. Yeah, this is him. Him crossing the stage. His high school diploma. You cannot tell me prayer do not work. It does. So shortly after, so he graduated from the state of Alabama, high school in the state of Alabama. And in Alabama, you can go to school. Special needs students can go to school up to the age of 21. And in Michigan, you can attend school for the special ed population to the age of 26. So I wanted to put him in a program where he can continue to the age of 21 if he wanted to. And so so after he got the diploma and everything, so I was going to trying to enroll him into, after high school, after that summer, try to enroll him in the program so he can continue on. So they were like, did you know he received a diploma? And I'm like, yes. And they said, well, once you receive a diploma, you cannot, he couldn't continue to go to school to the age of 21. He had to stop. And I'm like, and they said, unless you give the diploma back. And I'm like, no, we're not giving a diploma back. We're not giving a diploma back. So you know what? I fought that. I took it to the director of special education. And so she was like, they made it like it was a error, and but hey, God gets into the computer. So when you pray, God will get into computers and make things happen. Okay, He will get in there and do His little and He'll make things happen. So she was like, well, that was, so she said, well, that was our era. And I know it wasn't their era, it was God. And she was like, that was our era. So we're going to go ahead and let him continue on until he's 21 and he get to keep the diploma. And so, you know, he went and got in, was able to get into the program, but you know, we didn't stay that long because we moved back to Michigan where he continued to the age of 26. But I'm just saying this to say, no matter what they say, God has the final say. So that was a but God moment. Circumstances may say one thing or show one thing, but God, he also had a graduation dinner, and I gave him a graduation dinner when he graduated with family and friends, and we had it at our church, and we had like a mini service and everything. Well, our co-pastor, she gave a short word, and she asked me, what did I want the what did I have a title in mind? And that's what the title was, but God. But God. That was the title of her sermon. And God is amazing. And so I just wanted to, God placed this on my heart to share for people. You know, a lot of times they're discouraged. They have loved ones, like I said, with special needs. And they just need to be encouraged. So that was, God placed it on my heart to put out there for somebody, to encourage them. God has the final say so. So that's all I have. Love you. Bye-bye. And remember, God